Let's not sleep together. You can't sleep neither. Let's not sleep together.
Hello and welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. Thanks for joining us, everyone. This is episode 337. The PlayStation 5 has arrived. I am, of course, one of your hosts, Mark. And joining me tonight is the man, the myth, the legend. He starts out sober but ends up drunk. It's Dave.
Oh no, that intro was so long that I'm already drunk.
Oh, well, that's fair. Fair. I will have you know... I will have you know I preemptively stopped you because Daniel and I have been doing that nonstop for like the last 3 weeks. Every time somebody says it, we're all like, to be fair, just like you. So, and then also joining us tonight is, of course, Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello, how are you today? Hi, I don't know what else. Oh, there's a cat. I see a cat. Hi, cat. How's cat?
Yes. And Banner has joined us in chat. Welcome, Banner. Well, we have the PlayStation 5 is the topic of discussion. There is going to be much to say about the PlayStation 5. But before we do that, why don't we do what we always do and talk about what we've been doing since last we all joined up for the podcast. And this podcast is overdue by a bit, mostly because of computer issues on my side, which I'll get to on my part. But, Matt, why don't we start with you?
All right. Well, we'll hit the big ones. I tried to scrape up what I'd been doing because I had been doing a really bad job about documenting it. But I finally finished up Nier Automata, and by finish it, I mean I got all 26 endings plus the DLC ending and platinum of the game.
What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with me? Most of them are incredibly insignificant. There's only 5 real endings. What?
But you took the time to do all 27 of them.
Well, some of them you just do by accident. Like, you mess up something or you do a side quest and it results in an ending.
To quote Hardcore Holly, do ya?
But yeah, I think I looked at the time I put into that once they got the PS5, and it's something like 98 hours into Nier Automata. It is a great game, though. It really is.
Well, since you haven't, we've talked about it, that you were playing it and that you were enjoying it. Now that you're done, give us the big 3 bullet points, like graphics, gameplay, and whatever third thing you want. Give it a score.
The game itself, the graphics have a very, I call it like a Team Ico, whichever you pronounce it, type style to it, where they're very pretty, but they're also very washed out. So it's everything's kind of got this hazy feel to it, but it looks really, really good. It was played on the PS4, standard launch day PS4 on a 4K TV. Still held up, looked really good. The motion, there you use a little artifacting, you could tell, but nothing significant. I'm sure it wasn't there in the if you were playing it on a 1080 standard, not standard definition, but display.
Old TV,
yes. In terms of gameplay, but I mean the look fits the world, right? I mean everything about that game is the aesthetic, right? I mean it's Yoko Taro, dude wears a moon on his head, so like not just on his head, like over his head. There's actually a lot of references to that in the game. There's there's a handful of things that I know are references to the original Nier, either Replicant or Gestalt. And I know that they are because the game kind of tells you that they are, but I don't know because I didn't play the old Nier, which the remake is coming out soon, so I may have to remedy that. Gameplay wise, it's made by Platinum, So if you've played a platinum action game, you pretty much know what you're getting into. That is, it's good, flashy, a tad over the top. Although, in terms of over the top in this one's pretty tame compared to some of their other stuff like Bayonetta. But it's still flashy. It's still, uh, still a lot of big sweeping, swoopy motions and a lot of cinematic stuff in there. Um, and I guess the thing is the hook of this game is obviously, like I said, there's 26 core endings and then a 27th one added with the DLC. So, but to get the full story, you have to play endings A through E, and that basically just happens by playing the game. It basically tells you how to. You just keep on going, and it basically tells you how to work through that. Each of the sessions, I think, is short. Well, at least the way I played, each session was shorter than the previous. But I also tend to try as do as much up front as humanly possible. So that's partially just because of the way I play. The characters are really well done. It does have a lot of style. It's very on the nose, right? The game doesn't really hide anything from you. So you as the player kind of figure out everything that's going on way before the characters in the game do. But there's still some surprises. There's still some gotchas in there that you're probably not going to fully recognize exactly what's going on. You'll have an idea, but there's still some good twists in there. And surprisingly, some really, really, really good voice acting. I mean, I guess I don't know why I say surprising on that. I mean, it's Square Enix and it's Platinum working together, so it's not probably shouldn't be surprising. I guess the most surprising thing is the character that had the best voice work on it isn't one of the two mains. And I think I just kind of found that as surprising, that how much better that one's voice acting was than the others. The others are great, but there's one that's far above. Partially also the writing, I think. She just had some of the better writing. But that was kind of surprising to me. But I'd say that's a solid 9.5 out of 10. There were some janky issues with it. There were some minor little things, but yeah. And I mean, if you're going to do what I did, if you're going to platinum it and stuff, you're probably going to end up looking some stuff up because some of that stuff is buried pretty deep. Especially one of the endings. One of the endings is really not something you would naturally stumble upon, even remotely.
Dave, a chat says Dr. Claw vibes with the cat.
I'll get you, Gadget.
It's amazing that did not turn the screen to you when you said that. Hilarious. Matt, I gave you a printed above your head near automatic score 9.5 out of 10.
Woohoo! Yatai!
Good job.
Yeah, so that was that. Then we've been doing our Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, the Monster Mash. So that's been interesting. My dead-faced Minotaur.
The soulless eyes are what kill me every time. And the fact that you're rigid as a board.
It is funny because when he's on, when the avatar's on screen, it's got animations and it's moving and stuff, and then it goes to a close-up and
it's exactly what it is. It's like he's got camera shyness.
Yeah.
Camera fright. Stage fright.
Turns to stone. It's crazy. And then I was playing Medieval, trying to get through that before the 5 dropped. I didn't quite finish it before the 5 dropped, but I did finish it after the 5 dropped. So I did finish that. I'd never played it back on the PS1. So I thought that was a good kind of catch-up game to play. It's pretty fun. It's probably like a 7, adjusted for time and such. History on that game, and I started looking it up, is way interesting because originally it was a 2D Goblins and Ghouls and Goblins clone.
Mm-hmm.
And then how Sony came in and nope, the world is 3D now, so make it a 3D game. And they're like, okay. So yeah, a lot of interesting there. And then had a little thing show up called the PlayStation 5. I lucked out. I got mine. It came on launch day. I didn't get a box of Doritos. or whatever's been happening with the UK launch.
Daniel
there.
said it was going to be a PS4 with a PS1
A PS1
taped
tape to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we'll get into it probably. Unfortunately, you had some shipping problems, so yours was a
Yes.
little delayed.
Yes.
By and large, it seems like most people had pretty good luck. There have been some cases of stuff out there, but aside from the fact that it's just not around, every batch that's come out since, my son's been trying to get one and just not. I don't know how anyone's getting one the way those systems. You can tell the minute it goes live because all of a sudden the stores just go. Bleh.
I must have the magic touch since I was able to get one.
Yeah, but you just gotta get lucky.
Yeah, super lucky.
I know so many.
I totally almost missed it because I pressed the link and it loaded and I just stared at it. Even though it said add to cart, I was like, what?
Oh, it worked.
Well, yeah. Well, it was confusing because I clicked on the link for the expensive one and it took me to the discless one. And I that's part of why my brain was like, wait, this isn't what I clicked on, but it does say add to cart. Oh crap! And then
Yeah.
I managed to get it.
Well, that's cool.
Amazon twice now. Amazon's the winner for
Wow.
PlayStation 5 ordering.
All right. Well, maybe I'll have to pay more attention to that. We've been watching some of the other ones, but I haven't seen the notices for Amazon, so I'll have to keep an eye on that better. And then, there's the weird queuing system that PlayStation
Oh,
Direct
God,
is using.
it's horrible.
Which is, yeah. I mean, it's keeping their site from crashing, I'm sure, but it's
if it takes you an hour
friendly.
to get in and the stuff goes in 2 minutes, not useful.
What good is that doing? Yeah. So with that, I decided the first thing I was going to do was Astro's Playground, and I did not expect that to consume me the way it did. That is a really solid little game. I mean, I beat it in a day, so I mean, it's not anything significant, but the homage to
Everything.
everything. I mean, literally every piece
Everything.
of PlayStation branded hardware that has ever existed is in the game. There's all kinds of scenes of the little bots reenacting different key games through PlayStation history. The
Couple
game
disturbing
itself,
ones.
yes, there are that. Team Asobi. I know they really kind of hit on something with Astrobot, with the Astrobot Rescue Mission. Is that what it's called? Whatever the VR one is. I mean, they made the original Playroom and the Playroom VR, and then they made the Astrobot Rescue VR thing, which I haven't played, but has really struck a chord in the VR world. And then this, and they really have a good feel for how to make a platformer, a 3D old schoolish type platformer.
A really good feel.
And then to add to that feel, they really did a good job with implementing the haptics and the triggers and then the different stuff
sound.
with the new controller, the sound,
sound
what comes out of the controller, what comes out of the system. I mean, the thing is I think that is like the controller stuff on that one is cranked to 11. You will never actually play a game that has that much in your face with the controller. I don't
but
think.
man, it feels so good in your
But
hands.
it does.
Yeah.
It does. And it shows off, what's the realm of the possible with it there. I did. So then from that, I jumped into Bug Snacks because my daughter was like, "What? I need you to play this game because I need to know what this is because it's driving me nuts." And it's first-person Animal Crossing Pokemon.
Well, except that when
Sort
you
of.
catch the Pokemon and eat them, you become them. It's
Yeah.
actually the one game I have not booted up. Well, it's one or two actually.
It's cute. It's got a definite hook to it. I mean, it's different. It's not literal Pokemon. You're not battling the bug snack. You're collecting them for different reasons, for different. Well, there's a log, right? So you're collecting them to complete the log, and then there's different mission reasons to complete them. But you get missions. You go off and you catch whatever bug snacks it is you need to complete the mission, and then you go. But the first thing you do is you try to get everyone to come back to town. Right, so I mean, there's literal Animal Crossing type, stuff there, getting people to come to town. Now they're fixed characters in their stuff, but it's definitely kind of goofy and over the top, but at the same time it's really fun, and it's pretty catchy. Um,
Catchy.
the Catchy, yes.
Uh,
The controller stuff isn't implemented quite as well as I think it could be, and I don't know if that's something that can be patched over time or if that's just the way it's going to be. But they do a lot of good stuff with the sound though, because when you trap one of the bug snacks, it Pokemon style says its name coming out of the controller when you pick. So you trap it and you pick the trap up, and then it starts saying its name, but it comes out of the controller speaker. So that's a pretty cool design option there. Definitely a lot more use of the controller sound than we ever saw with like the DualShock 4, with rare exception. There were some games that used that really well, but not very many. It seems a lot of the early games here are using that speaker to really good effect, which then leads me into Miles Morales, Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Which is the
Which
other game that I have not actually booted up once yet. I know. But trust me, when you get to the list, I've played a lot of stuff. It's just I ran out of time.
I get it. So that I know people say they're beating it in like 6 or 8 hours, but they must just be mainlining the story. They can't be doing anything in the world, because I know I'm not the fastest player in the world, but there is no way you did all the side missions and all the collections and all the side stuff and the main story and beat it in 8 hours.
oh my god, I got like 2 hours into it and I haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand where people are getting, again, unless they're just, I understand there are some people who for their first playthrough just mainline the story and that's all they do, and then they go back for subsequent playthroughs to do extra stuff. I can't do it that way.
I can't stop wandering around
Right.
in games like that. Like that's my problem. Like I already had to put it down once because I was like, I'm getting nowhere. I'm just wandering around and zipping around the city, and I'm not doing anything except just like checking out the views and just running around and just like all that kind of stuff, like just playgrounding the thing. And it's just like, damn. Like,
And it's the same map
again.
It's the same map from the regular game, so it's not like they shrunk it down to a subsection of the city or anything. It's the same full map. It's a little less sparsely. It's a little more sparsely populated with stuff. It's not quite to the level of Spider-Man PS4, but it does the thwip sound effect that travels from your controller to the sound system or to your headphones if you're wearing headphones. It actually, like, you get part of it from the controller and then the rest of the sound like migrates out to the sound system. It's this weird little subtle thing, but it's brilliant. And that's the thing I think that Spider-Man does differently with the stuff for the system than Bug or Astro's Playground did. Where Astro's Playground, everything is in your face. With Miles, everything is really subtle. It's really subtle, to the point where I've heard people complaining that it's not implemented or not implemented well, but it's brilliant in its subtlety. And I challenge anyone that thinks that the triggers or the haptics are not implemented well in this to go ahead, turn them off, go back to the game and see what you're really missing, because there's gripping the spider webs are in the haptics. But unless you're paying attention, you don't realize it. It's just there and it just feels natural. And there's sound and it feels natural. And yeah, the adaptive triggers don't grab till the last second, much like a tail in the face doesn't grab till the last second. But when it does, that's when you shoot the web, right? It's that last part where you squeeze it down the rest of the way, and you can kind of feel the tension building up a little bit till you get to that last part. And when you click past that resistance, that's when the web shoots. So you can prime it up, get ready to go, and then just click that last little bit. And that's really, really, really handy in some of the mobility challenges, which are traversal challenges, which are, at least for me, very difficult. Because for me, the beauty of that game is you don't have to precisely travel or do traversal in the city because the game handles it for you, right? You're like, I want to go over there. And the game says, okay, do this, So you're never impeded getting from point A to point B because Spider-Man knows what to do because you just said, go over there. When you do the traversal challenges, though, they're all about precision. And I had the same problem with the original game. It's just like for those, they need to give weighted targeting to the places where you're actually supposed to go, because the number of times I pointed at the target loop to shoot towards and he web zips to the thing right next to it, I got very frustrated. Um, but anyway, so far that's a great game. The guy, I forget his name, that's playing Miles is doing brilliant. The returning voice cast is great. You've got Genki, playing the guy in the chair. So that's really good. The banter back and forth between them. I did mess around going back and forth between performance and what do they call the other one? Fidelity mode. So fidelity is the 30 frames per second, but has all the lighting and ray tracing and stuff. And then performance is the 60 frames per second with the faked 4K.
Where is that at? Visual?
In
Graphics
yeah,
mode.
visual,
Okay, I'm
graphics
under fidelity. All right.
And so I preferred fidelity up front, and then for one of the challenges, I'm like, all right, I'm going to put it into performance mode and just see if I can tell a difference. And initially, I'm like, okay, I can kind of tell a difference, but I don't know if I really care. But I left it in there, and then I switched back to fidelity mode, and oh yeah, there's a difference. Once you get used to performance mode and go back to fidelity mode, there is definitely a difference in the smoothness of the motion of the character and the city as it zooms by. But again, after about 10 minutes back in fidelity mode, I don't see it again. So I guess I just adjust really well to either one. I do like the ray tracing. I like the lighting. When you get the classic Miles suit, the spider on his back is raised and reflective, and the light coming off of that thing as you're even just sitting or swinging through the city is just ridiculous. And you kind of you don't lose it completely, but you lose a lot of that effect when you switch to the 60 frames per second mode. And yeah, but I mean, I mean, for a launch title, this is amazing. I mean, this does not feel like a launch title, and it uses a lot of the features of the system without them feeling gimmicky or, hacked in.
I just paused it to go into photo mode, and I've already got like a breathtaking picture, and he's just standing there on a ledge. I'm like, I hate this game so much. It's like it's the same problem for me. I never get anything done in these games. I just end up playing with photo mode and seeing what I can, how running across the city. And I guess that, it's okay. That you don't have to beat a game. You can have fun with a game, but yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm just gonna like play long enough to get like a good suit and then just photo mode the rest of it.
Yeah, I've got a handful of suits. I haven't bought them all. The currencies for buying stuff are sparse enough that I'm being really stingy with them until I'm going to platinum this game. I don't think that's any surprise to anyone, but you have to play through at least twice to do it because you have to beat it in New Game Plus on top of a regular playthrough to platinum it. So I figure I'll get enough currency throughout all of that to be able to get everything. But up front, I'm focusing on the skills and the gadgets and stuff before worrying about suits and things.
How do you actually take the picture?
You actually have to hit the screenshot button, the one on the left.
Yeah, but then the HUD's in it. I don't want the HUD.
Oh, you have to go back out
triangle,
and turn the HUD off with triangle.
I see. Nice.
Okay, so then there were the two other things I was experimenting with just to see. So we haven't really talked about the PS5 itself. I'm sure we'll get to that. But the thing is, just sitting there not playing a game or doing anything is dead quiet. I mean, I swear that fan isn't even spinning when it's just sitting there on the UI, on the homepage. And when you put a game in and play, it's audible, but barely. It's kind of a little wobbly, whirly sound.
Mine sounds like it's taken off when you have it. You don't have it standing. You have it on its side, right?
I have it on its side. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that makes a difference.
See, I have it standing, and I've never heard it.
I mean, the disk drive, when you stick a disk in, the disk drive's noisy.
Oh, yeah, I've never put a disk in. That's why.
And that'll randomly kick in. You'll be playing and then it's like, why is the disk drive reading? You're not doing anything with it, but anyway, it does.
Yeah, I actually got a really dumb question. Do you need the disc in there to play the game
If it's a
anymore?
disc-based game, yeah, you still do.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought, because I was trying to say, because if it's copying everything, like, but
So here's the thing though, if you get a if a game if you got a disc based game on PS4 and they have and they have a PS5 version of it, you can upgrade to the digital version of it.
But one of my experiments, at least for No Man's Sky's case, which is the one I had that has a PS5 version, so I put my PS4 disc in. It says, "Oh, hey, do you want to, get the PS5 version?" I'm like, "Go ahead, sure." Um, I still have to put the PS4 disc in to play the PS5 download version. It still requires that license from the disc to play.
So dumb if they choose to go that route.
Now, I don't know if that's just a No Man's Sky choice or if that's a Sony choice. I don't know. But
it makes sense, because if they're like doing that, because otherwise you would just borrow, rent, whatever
right.
games, so they can't.
So,
Yeah, but borrowing with a game on PS5 is as simple as handing the disc over to somebody. Sorry, wrong generation launch. My bad.
Yeah.
but yeah, but I fired up No Man's Sky for PS5. They don't have a save port from 4 to 5, so I had to start over. The beginning of that game is brutal, but it is very pretty. The PS5 port is very pretty. The monster stuff that they've added in now, the creatures look so much better than they used to. There's a lot more variety. Stuff in the sky isn't all just these flitty little, dragonfly bird things anymore. But everything looks really well. They do walk you through the stuff pretty well, although I got to the point where I needed copper and the planet I'm on doesn't have copper, and so then I've got to run around and try to collect the stuff to make enough fuel so I can take off and go to another planet that's got copper. And so yeah, that whole thing is still there. It's still there. It's prettier, it's better, there's a lot more features, but that core thing is still there. And then I thought, all right, I haven't really heard this thing's fan kick in too much here yet. Let's see if we can find something that'll make the fan kick up. And the thing I could think of from my PS4 library that made the fan kick up the most was 2016 Doom. And so I downloaded that onto the PS5 and fired up 2016 Doom. Not only does it not make the fan kick up, it plays so fast and so smooth, I can barely play it. I mean, it is like just... I have to learn all new reactions all new response timings because it plays that differently. It wasn't a PS5 version. It's still the PS4, but it runs so much better on there than it did on the PS4. And that's really what I've played. The other game I played was take apart the old PS4 that I've got on launch night and clean it out. And so my daughter and we looked up instructions on how to take apart an OG PS4, cleaned it out. That thing is freaking quiet now. It wasn't even that dirty. I mean, 7 years, you'd think it would have been dirtier than that. I mean, I blow it out every once in a while, but
I'm pretty sure the dust and ash that's in my PS4 is the only thing holding it together still.
But I popped it open, cleaned it out, blew out the stuff. I took some alcohol and Q-tips, and not the kind of alcohol Dave's drinking, the rubbing kind, and cleaned off the fan blades and got.
Don't judge his alcohol choices. That could very well be rubbing alcohol. You don't know.
Nah,
it's the wrong color, but
this is good stuff.
And they put it back together, everything fired up, and yeah, it is way quieter. I've looking at the amount of stuff that was on there, I didn't think, oh man, this isn't going to make a difference, but it really has. That said, we haven't fired up the PS4 too terribly much since we got the 5, so we'll see. Okay, so TV wise, I finished up The Boys season 2. I finished up the Netflix series Away, and I'm really mad that they canceled that before a season 2 because I really appreciate that show as a realistic science fiction, right? It's a near future science fiction where everything pretty much is possible. It's just we haven't done it. And yeah, I know there was a lot of drama in it, but science fiction is just a vehicle for stories like anything else. So, it's just a setting and a format. It's not it doesn't all have to be pew pew lasers and crazy wild stupid choices because people are stupid in some stuff. I watched and finished Hellstrom, the Marvel Hulu series, very, 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 very loosely based on Damien Hellstrom and Satana. Um, Although the end has me very intrigued and hopeful for a season 2 because they got a very, very right thing happened at the very, very last scene of the last episode, and I really want to see where they go with that. Watching The Mandalorian season 2 through the current episode that launched today, which is episode 4. And then I've been watching Evil season 1, mostly because I missed my Luke Cage. And so I wanted to see. Oh, now, of course, I've completely forgotten his name. The actor that played Luke Cage in the Netflix series is one of the main characters in that show. And so that's really what got me to watch it.
Sweet Christmas.
Yes. So that's that. I know I've watched some other stuff here and there, but I didn't write it down, and I don't know what it was. So, and I noticed that the Animaniacs dropped today, and the Lego Star Wars Christmas special dropped yesterday, and I haven't watched either of those yet, but I got to get to those.
Dave.
So,
I thought we were. Are we out of time?
I was actually gonna. I looked down at the time. I'm like, only 35 minutes. Not too bad.
sorry,
It's
a
all
lot of
good.
stuff.
It's all good. It's been a lot. It's been a month or so since we've got together. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dave, go.
I mean, the important thing, obviously, the big news, the biggest release, biggest, most important release of the year, exclusive, the whole 9 yards. Not many people were able to get it. As big, pain.
If you say the game set and watch thing, I'm gonna throw things.
I did get the Mario Game and Watch. Very excited about that.
Now I gotta go pick that up so the dog doesn't eat it.
Yeah. It
So,
is.
have those been hard to get? I didn't try to get one. Are they?
I think they were easy to get day one, because I think like the way it happened, I think there was an initial fervor of like people trying to pre-order, but then something happened, like it was delayed getting FCC sign off in the US, so there was like some delay in the FCC approval or something like that, so they weren't able to pre-sell it, and it was just like it's just going to be available on November 3rd, the date. So, finally that day hit, and morning I went to Best Buy's website and it said due to the limited nature of this, there's like some weird queuing thing. They had like a whole process. Boom, dropped on my cart, ordered it, went and picked it up, so it was fine. I noticed Amazon had them that morning for a while, for a good couple hours. Like I think it flew under the radar for the release. But soon after that, gone, and now they're selling for like $100, so it's like stupid.
Well, I'm saying game set and watch, flying under the radar, kind of the same thing. You said it twice. It's just redundant. Because only you and maybe 6 other people would be interested in the game set and watch.
First of all, why are you saying game set and watch? Because that's
always what I've called it. I know I know.
God, that's just awful in every way. Why am I here? So the cool thing is, I am a big fan. Obviously, we know. Well, you two know this. Nobody else cares. Of portable gaming, So I love portable gaming and its history. A few years back, remember? So you know how Nintendo has like those like coins, platinum coins, all that kind of stuff. Well, that club used to be really good, and they used to have really good freebies.
Used to be.
Yeah. So they used to have some like really great stuff, and I used to hoard points, and make sure I was really diligent about it because they would have some really nice prizes. the best one ever was a brand new replica of the original Game and Watch Game Ball. So it's a fully working LCD, just like the original, but it's brand spanking new. And it's great. So I love that thing. I'm a big fan of that kind of stuff. So the history of it, that's the start of, that's the real start of portable gaming, right there, and it was done right. So this is kind of like a nice homage to that, with a classic game. Mario has Mario 2: The Lost Levels, and it has a new version of, Ball on it, where it's got Mario's head on it, and you're just like juggling. The watch part of it has like, a bunch of little hidden, stuff. There's like a nice little feature of unlimited lives that you can trigger for the Mario game. That's a lot of fun. So like, keeps my son, occupied in a car, something like that. So it's neat. It's just a neat little thing. Is it worth $50 to play Mario? No. I will freely admit that. Is it awesome? Yes. From a history standpoint, from a little like, a little, cool gadget kind of thing. Like it is just like small, pocketable. It plays full Mario on it. Like, it's a great little thing.
Let's call it for what it is. It's a perfect portable hipster product.
Hipster product? Really? I don't,
I think so.
I don't know. Cause like,
it's not mass market. It's very niche. Don't you think?
Yeah. It's extremely niche. But it's also like, I wouldn't call it hipster really.
Oh no,
like,
I was just calling you a hipster.
Oh yeah, that's farthest thing from. But
handheld hipster. You're a handheld.
Yeah,
hipster.
you're a handheld hipster.
Yeah, am I? I just thought I was just a douche. like
you.
There's a difference.
You weren't there day one for the release of almost every handheld.
Not the PSP Go.
Well, okay. No one was there for the PSP Go. This is the same thing as the original Game and Watch. It's like, come on, man. Only you and 6 other people.
He's got 4 different variants of the Color Swan, Wonder Color.
That is not true. That's not true. I only have 2 of those.
Only two.
I
Okay.
only have 2. I have a black and white one, and I have a color one. All right, that's not even a thing. So
you had one of the limited edition Wonder Swans. I thought you had a fancy special one.
No, not in the Wonder Swan. I just have like a Wonder Swan. I have a clear blue crystal.
Now, do you have the original SNK Pocket and then the SNK Pocket Color?
Just the Pocket Color. The original Pocket, garbage.
But I had it. Because there was no color available at the time.
Yeah. Nah, the black and white one was...
I mean, it ran well. I didn't like it compared to the color either, but...
Yeah, the color one was where it was at on that, so I got that one. Yeah, there's that... that was the other thing. I found replacement good batteries for the PSP Slim.
Oh, nice.
Or battery popped, so I actually ordered an extra one, and that just came in yesterday.
Ooh,
so I'm very excited that because I went to play the original Lumines. I just had a hankering, for that, and then playing the Astro's playroom. I was just like,
you know it's on PS4, right?
That's not portable.
It is if you remote play it on your Vita.
You could remote play it on your Vita, also.
It's not the same.
It's not. There would be a lag, so it would throw off all its timing.
But the it's not the same.
Anyway, we're going faster. Sorry, I'm dragging this down. Hurry up.
Yeah, no. So, I love it. I mean, it's like, again, it's super like, it's specific. It's a specific product, but it's it's pretty cool. And I was just having a good week because I got PS5, I got that, I got all the hard stuff to get in the week. So yay. PS5 that showed up somehow miraculously. Again, Astro's Playground or Astro's Playroom. That game's just ridiculous. That is is a typical it's a total love letter to Sony Sony's history and everything like that. And it's like so cool, and it was neat because so my son's playing that game, and he doesn't know anything about PlayStation yet. He's played some PS4, but like doesn't really know what it is. His Switch is basically what he really knows. That's what he really starts on. That's his first real console that's his. And he's like in there, like, he's excited about like unlocking all the old, and I'm telling him about all the old systems and stuff. He's like, oh, that's the PlayStation 2, blah, blah, blah. He was like, oh, he goes, oh, I got the PlayStation 4. Like, he's all excited. He goes, that's what you got downstairs? I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh, it's a PlayStation 3. He goes, wait, I played that in the bedroom. That you had that in the other two. Yes, we did play that the other time. Like, and he like gets it, So I was just like, he's like, that there's like history behind that stuff, and I just thought that was pretty funny.
That game also taught me. I did not know how different the revision of the PS4 was from the launch unit. I mean, I just kind of looked at them and said, no, they're more or less the same. But no, the color bars in the front, and so I actually learned something from that game because I had no idea that the Slim was that different from the OG.
So, since we're here, I'm just going to say real quick, the haptics demo at the beginning, probably as good as the entire rest of the game, because I put it into my wife's hands and she was like, what's this? And I'm like, no, just pull the triggers. And she pulled it and nothing happened. I'm like, no, keep pulling. And then, of course, the rockets went off, and she was like, "Oh, it's like, it's really a great way to kind of introduce people to all the features."
The funny part is when I first was playing it, like I didn't pull the triggers until that moment.
Right.
So I'm thinking they just had 2 layers of resistance.
Right.
Kind of like then the old Nintendo used to have that on one of their things, didn't they?
Well, the GameCube controller had you just squeeze and then you click it down.
Yeah, there was the mush and then there was the click.
Yeah, that was the GameCube controller, I think.
And I thought it was just kind of like on that kind of level. Like it was just like a fancier implementation of that. Like there was the mush and then the break. And I was just like, oh, that's cool. And then it got into the game and everything was completely different. And you're crushing glass and you're doing. And I'm like, this is just PFM right now. Like, this is just awesome. And I was like really geeking out on that it was just like, I was like, all right, this is kind of, I see why people are saying game changer.
My favorite is the part of the demo with the haptics where they put all the little people inside and then you get to use the motion sensor and you can feel them. And I was like, look, if you feel, you're killing them by crushing them from going left to right. She's like, don't say that. And I'm like, yeah, you are. They're dead in there. It's good.
But like it was, it was really impressed with that kind of stuff. The other thing that was really cool, just in general, how comfortable is that damn controller?
Good.
Man. I wasn't sure when I got it. I got it well before the PS5 came, my extra one. I took it out of the box. I had it in my hands. I kind of played with it. I was like, I'm not sure. But the minute you start playing something, it just clicked, right? Yeah. It just locked in. And
like while playing the game, I remember like they showed like the old like PlayStation 3 controller, and I'm just like looking at that. I'm like, man, ugh.
Well, listen, man. What do they call that giant Xbox controller? Is the Maverick?
The Duke.
The Duke. Like I could never wrap my hands around. I'm a guy with kind of smallish hands, and so the DualShocks have always been really good for me. But this DualSense is much bigger, and yet it is also very comfortable.
Yeah. It is. There's one thing that may be an issue with that controller that I actually ran into.
I know what you're gonna say.
What?
The PlayStation button.
Battery.
Well, right. I'm just gonna accept that the battery's gonna suck. As long as it's a little bit better than the last one, we're fine. Did anybody's X button get stuck?
No.
Yeah, mine did.
Just you. Oh, you know what? I take that back. I did have one get stuck. I think it was square, not X. But then I just like pushed it in hard again, and it came out, and I have sense.
Yeah, a little worried about that.
Nah.
That happened to me once, and I'm just like, all right, maybe my son's hands were just dirty or something like that when he was playing it, and I just cleaned it off, and hopefully that's good.
Yeah, I've not had that problem, but I did have it once. I haven't had it since then.
The battery obviously is going to be, it's going to be different depending on, like, if you're only playing, Astro's Playroom, your battery is going to run down faster than anything else. It's just like,
although somebody in the early press said that when they were playing Astros, the fully charged controller lasted like 2 hours. Mine lasted well longer than 2 hours playing Astro.
Yeah, it was. I didn't have to charge it up after playing for a bunch of hours, on that.
It was 4 or 5 at least.
Yeah, which I'm fine with that. I mean, if that's like, if it's going full bore and you're getting 5 hours out of that thing, 4 or 5 hours out of it, well, yeah. I mean that's doing a lot of work. So like, I'm cool with that. I mean, although, like, the Nintendo one, the Pro Controller there, which feels funny after using the PlayStation one, and I hate that. Like, I mean, that thing lasts.
I don't know how it lasts so long. That was insane. I don't know what
it must. It's
magic
just
they did
got
with
all.
that one.
It's all battery in the thing. I mean, it's got to be what it is. But it's just. I mean, they just know what they're doing with that stuff. However, that being said, I mean, it's got a chance of becoming my favorite controller of all time. It is super comfy and nice. So kudos to the design team for that one.
Yeah, it's no mystery now why they showcased that up front.
Yeah. And they should. That's a, I saw a lot of people saying like, oh, they're saying the controller is a game changer, and I like this stuff, and I like Sony, and I'm just like, God, I wish people would shut up about stupid things like that. I'm just like, it's a game changer. It's a controller. It's got 2 things, buttons, whatever. It's all the same. And then I'm playing, and I'm like, whoa, this might be a game changer.
They did a really, really good job with that thing. The only thing I've had a problem with is hitting the PlayStation button. I'm like, where is it's down here? There it is.
What's that other button? Is that just a mute?
That's
button?
a mute for the
that mutes
built-in
the
mic.
microphone. Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've hit that a couple times by accident, and it's just like stuff's glowing, and I'm like, and I see like the mute thing pop up, and I'm like, oh, all right, is that all it is? All right.
Yeah, mine's actually always on because I set the microphone to default to off, so my little mute button's always glowing.
The other thing that annoyed me was the subtle change of just how to turn the damn system off.
So, well, let's save that till we get into the actual system stuff.
Okay. Game-wise, played lots of Astro's Playroom. Played a little bit of Spider-Man. And Sackboy we fired up today.
Oh yeah.
I was saving that for this weekend for my son.
That's the third one that I have not had time to play yet.
Yeah. And so I'm
At least
really,
we're all complimenting each other here, so it's good.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys know I am a oddly like.
No, that game doesn't come out for a while.
No, I'm probably more of a fan of Sackboy than anybody should be. He just makes me happy. I don't know what it is.
Good.
It's
just great design.
I fell in love with Little Big Planet when it first came out. Like, I just love that game and love the character, just love the design, love the world, the music they do, and everything. So this is it's not a Little Big Planet game per se. Like, this is a Sackboy adventure game. He's in full 3D, running around in all directions. So it's not like your 2.5D like the old ones were.
When the PlayStation, the sacred symbols show at the beginning, how they normally have characters, that Sony characters in it, they're all Sackboy as the Sony characters. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It was good stuff. So I personally wasn't really playing it tonight a lot. Because my son was playing it because he was excited. Great for kids. He picked it up. I mean, he's like all into Mario and stuff, so he was just like took right to it.
Did he like the he's not floaty jump.
No.
That's so weird.
Yes, it's much more
Actual
traditional.
platformer, yeah.
Yeah. It controls very well. He moves very well. It's not as floaty. And I was like, I was explaining that to my, wife real quick, who did not care. So I was like, it wasn't as floaty as the previous controls were in the old games. Cause like, and she's just like, why are you talking? But she was just happy that he was getting a kick out of it. And the other thing that was funny, like as the game's playing, my wife got this funny look on her face, and I'm just like, I was like, what? And she was like, that's like a real song. And I'm like, what? I was like, they put real songs in games all the time. And she was like, oh, I'm just used to seeing like Mario Brothers and stuff. So like, I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, that's one of the things of this game. Like, they use like real music and stuff. And so one of the levels had the song Uptown Funk in it. You know that song?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
And I'm not exactly sure where, but my son apparently loves this song. And I'm not even sure where he heard it, but he hears like all kinds of music and stuff. And I wish I would have taken video of it because it was really awesome. But he's like sitting there just like dancing. And he was just like, don't believe it, just watch. And he's like singing along as he's playing the game, and he's doing really good in the game. And I just got a big kick out of that. And so all the guilt of me actually owning a PS5 while other people can't, get one, it just all went away at that moment. They should have pre-ordered early.
Oh, jeez, that's.
So now your son has to write a thank you note to Uncle Ian, who
That is
enabled us
correct.
all to.
Yes.
That is correct.
It's been we owe him a lot. It's funny how he took to it, because I was kind of like, like I said, the Switch has been kind of his main gateway into gaming, this past year. He's got his own Switch, so he's on board with it. I was wondering how the thing, but transitioning back and forth, not even an issue. He's been playing both still and everything. He's already a multi-console, gamer. He gets it. It is scary how it's literally in the blood.
So did he use the game help at all? That's one of the things I haven't tried out.
There's what?
The game help
Okay.
feature.
Game help, where you
Yeah.
can go in and like, I don't know how to find this item, and they'll take you to a video that shows you how to.
Yeah, Little Big Planet. Sackboy has it and uses it extensively.
Huh.
So like it will tell you, hey, there's a costume in the area, and then it'll take you to a little video walkthrough of how you might be able to get to it.
Huh.
So you don't have to go on a like GameFAQs type of site or do anything like that.
Huh. Who knew?
Everybody that watched the video.
Everyone that watched Sid really overly.
Yeah.
We've had this.
Thanks,
guys.
Game Help.
Guys, we've had this conversation. I'm old. I'm near death. I like being surprised. So I just, I don't pay attention to that stuff because I just want to go in cold. And
it's in the control center. So if you tap the PlayStation button so that you go into the control center, those cards from time to time, one of them will be a help thing if you want, or it'll go in the quest. So you'll be like in this quest, and then.
In fact, one of the things that it does is it like shows me that I'm in the level A Big Adventure. And over time, as I play games on PlayStation, it will actually give me an AI custom estimate of how much time it's going to take me to finish the level based on my play style. So since I'm a completionist and Matt's a completionist, etc., it will actually put us probably longer than everybody else. But what's interesting there is... Oops, that's the wrong button. Oops, that's the wrong button too. PlayStation button. I hit everyone but it. But, it'll tell you, hey, here's what you need to do to get this. And it'll take you to a little thing. Again, assuming that... Yeah, and I got stuff. So, yeah. So game help just kind of, it's hints or whatever. So if he gets stuck, he doesn't necessarily have to go to you, because you don't know, because you don't pay attention, because you're old and near death.
Well, no, that has been his game help. Is Daddy, can you do this for me? And I'm like, yeah. My favorite's when he hands me the controller when he's got one sliver of life left, and he's like about to get hit, and he's like handing it to me, and I'm like, buddy, and I always like preface it by like, buddy, come on, you're really stacking the deck against me here, and then I'll do it. And he thinks I'm awesome. I'm really gonna just enjoy that while it lasts.
You should.
Because in another, I'm guessing 3 months, he's going to be just way better at this stuff than I am, and ever will be. So,
yeah, I can't play fighting games with Mitchell because he just thrashes me. Yeah.
I'm gonna hide stuff like that.
Banner says my PS4 controller now feels different after a couple days play of PS5.
Yeah, it's got to feel like garbage.
I don't think it feels like garbage, but
it does feel different.
It does feel different.
No. It's garbage compared to
no.
this.
The PS3 controller feels like garbage compared to this.
The PS4 is not garbage.
The PS4 controller is garbage.
It feels worse. It's not garbage though.
I've never been able to like play longer than a half hour on the battery life on those things.
Oh, okay, all right, Mr. Exaggeration.
Yes, no, it's terrible. It is terrible. You have to admit it's terrible.
It's not great, but that's why I have like 6 of them and I just rotate through them.
Yeah, why do I? You should not need to have 6 controllers like that. I'm actually lying to my son right now and saying we only have 1 controller, so like when it dies, he has to stop playing. So
don't watch the show.
He doesn't know about the internet yet. He thinks the internet is just for like streaming music to my car. Like he doesn't understand. It's great.
Just wait though.
Well, it was funny. One time we had to explain it to him because the internet because he was just like, the internet was down in the house and he was just like, well, I want to watch a TV show. And we're like,
yeah, there's no TV, buddy.
Yeah, no, that's not just no. But so Sackboy's good, Spider-Man's good. So Spider-Man and Sackboy are the 2 games that I bought. I haven't played Bugsnax yet, and Astro's Playroom has just been the dominant game so far. My son beat it, I beat it, and I got like all the collectibles and everything in the game unlocked. I'm probably actually going to get like the rest of the trophies just because why not? And that would be my first official platinum once I do that. So
nice.
So I think that'll just be hilarious.
And if you get that speedrun trophy, let me know because I'll probably be guilted into actually getting it because that thing is a pain in the butt.
Dude, that under 7 minutes for all of them?
All of them, which means less than a minute because there's more than 7 of them.
There's 8 of them.
Yeah.
And I did one of them in 50 seconds. So maybe, I don't know.
Anyway.
But yeah, so
yeah.
That game is incredible fun. I love all the little details of it as you're just like going through stuff. The end boss whole thing is great. Some of the little trophies were just hilarious. Like
the trophies are like honorific too because like there's one called Wild Arms, and that one spoke to me. I was like, oh.
There was that. There was
spoke to you saying, "Here's about as much false hope as you'll ever have that you'll see it on PS5." Sorry, man, it's true.
Yeah.
I thought I really thought when they did the 30th anniversary that they were gonna do something and they did nothing.
No, the Wild Arms thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can never know. Maybe 35th anniversary. Because that seems to be a big one for some reason. That Zelda Calamity of whatever showed up today. I will play that eventually. Just probably not, today or tomorrow. Oh, the other thing is really cool. You can finally be a bald guy in Animal Crossing. So excited.
That's
Damn
what
it.
that post was about. I didn't understand what
Yeah.
that post was about. That's what it was.
So they released a new update, and the new update had new hairstyles. One of the hairstyles is officially bald.
Well, you can also sit down now, can't you?
You can sit down. That's another reaction. There's a bunch of.
That's
you can do,
crazy
like-
talk right there. Being able to
Yeah.
sit in a game. Never heard of such
You
thing.
can, well, you can sit down on you could always sit down on furniture and stuff, but this one you can just plop under a tree. So I just always think that's fun. So, and the picture I posted also had my custom pillows on my chair, my outside chair. The custom pillows are the album cover of Pretty Hate Machine, and nobody's noticed that.
Nice.
So that kind of makes me sad. But that, I just get a kick out of that little thing. But yes, I still play Animal Crossing pretty much daily.
Wow.
Banner
It's
says
my little.
the PS4 control feels smaller. Like my brain is saying, go back to your PS5.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Well, it is smaller. The PS5 controller is pretty big, but man, it is.
It doesn't. It feels big, but it doesn't feel overwhelming.
No, I mean it's not the Duke. I lived through
No.
the Duke.
Yeah. We all lived through the Duke.
Although
Anything
the Duke
else?
the Duke felt
sorry.
great for Halo though.
Anything else that you played?
I'm trying to think. So I thought there was something else that I was playing.
Oh, they updated Shadow Complex so you can play it on your PS5 now. It is
They
no
did.
longer. There is no longer a ban on the Shadow Complex on PS5.
Ooh, that was a good game.
It was.
I did for some reason download. I did download a couple other games on the PS5. I put Ratchet and Clank on there because it was in my library. So I was just like, oh yeah, sure, that has to be on there. So maybe I'll play that with my son too. Introduce him to Ratchet and Clank like a good dad.
Nice.
There's that. Watching stuff. I'm caught up on Mandalorian. That show is awesome. Animaniacs dropped today. That is fantastic.
It was quite good.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I got to watch 2 episodes of it. Almost a third. I was 10 minutes away from finishing. And you were like, "We're podcasting tonight." And I'm like, "Oh, what? What?" What else did I watch? There was I wanted to watch a movie. I haven't watched a movie in forever. Do you guys watch movies? I don't get to watch movies anymore.
Not so much. No, I watched. I threw Infinity War and watched it in the PS5 because I have the 4K Blu-ray and I never had anything to play it on, so I threw that in.
Yeah, I
and
gotta
watched
do that.
so.
I gotta see
It's
what
pretty
4K
sweet.
movies I have. I know I have a couple of them that are on 4K. I gotta do that. But I watched Guns Akimbo. You guys ever hear of this one?
Yes.
I have heard of it, but I have not seen it.
It just looked like a fun movie. I know it got some buzz. I didn't really, read into it to see if it was positive or negative buzz. But it was a fun movie. From what I've heard, it sounds like it's overhyped. People think it's the greatest thing ever made, and it's not. But it is a fun new twist on the over the top action, kind of movie and everything like that. It's got a funny idea behind it. Harry Potter's the lead, so that's just, funny, to see, him and stuff. I don't like that when you're so used to seeing him as that, so that's worthy of watching. And I'm still going through Clone Wars. Slowly but surely, my free spare minutes, before I fall asleep or something like that, I'll usually throw an episode or 2 on to try and watch some of that, which, that show's really good. And it's just funny, everybody says, it's a kid's show. I don't see any way that was actually a kid's show. Was that really a kid's show?
Season one was George Lucas was heavily involved in season 1, and there's a lot of weird stuff in season 1. And then basically they turned it over to Filoni. Well, Filoni was working season 1 too, but basically after season 1, it's just him
Yeah.
him and his crew working it, and that's when it really he's making the show for himself.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah. Clearly. There's very little stuff that annoyed me in there. For some reason I hated the underwater arc that they did.
Yeah, it wasn't
That
bad.
stupid Moncal little prince, dude. That just drove me nuts. I just hated those episodes. Other than that, stuff's been gold. So I'm happy to revisit all that and can't wait to get to the new season. So that's good. And that's that.
The funny part is you actually went longer than Matt.
Well, we got no.
Yeah.
He's not been. He's been on.
I know.
Been on the
He's
podcast
been. Yeah,
longer,
he's
too,
been
so.
like 6 months, so I get it. There's lots
Right.
of it in there.
First of all, it's been a while. Second of all, you guys derail me way more. Like, we let Matt talk. You got to interrupt every other word
Pretty much.
that I say, and you're just like, "Oh, Game and Watch." You got to sit there and make fun of me for that. Or I don't make fun of you for the stuff you like. The
Yes, you
stupid
do
stuff.
all the time. What are you
You like-
talking about? That's all you do.
Wait, what?
Oh my god.
No, that's
No,
not.
Never.
Those are
No,
lies.
totally lies. Well,
Oh boy.
since he's done.
All right, talk about the crap you like.
Okay. What I played is buy a new computer because the smoke and ash from the fires in San Francisco finally, even though I cleaned it out, I had professionally cleaned out. Once I got here, it was just too much. It died. So I got the new computer, and then I had to buy a new 3080 Ti when the one that came inside the computer didn't work. And then I got to have a heart attack when the UPS guy delivered the replacement to a neighbor instead of me. And then I had to have another heart attack when UPS told me they lost my PS5, and then I received it late the next day. And then I finally got everything set up, and I specifically, when I bought the new capture card a while back, I specifically bought one that could do 4K. I had to pay way more for it, but I knew that the PS5 would be coming, and I wanted to actually record in 4K. Can't broadcast in it. I don't have the upload speed to do that, but I can at least record in 4K. Except XSplit, for some reason, doesn't allow me to actually bump it up to 4K with the device I'm using. Every other software recording suite in the world, OBS, the one that comes with the capture card, no problem, records 4K all day. But the one that I've actually paid for and use on a daily basis and love does not work. So I ended up doing something that apparently went to the devs, and who knows, that's a black hole. I'll probably never hear from them again, and it'll never work. But I've been recording in other things, so I've got a couple in the bucket that I'm going to do here. But after all that got done, then I started playing Solasta Crown of the Magister, which, if you're not familiar, it is a CRPG based on 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. It uses verticality. It's a single player, but you control a party of people, and you can make your entire party, which is kind of nice. And it's really interesting for the first quest. You're all in the tavern already, and then you have to talk about how each of you got there and the adversities that you went through to get to the table, as you're all meeting to be a party for the first time to do this job.
Oh my god, it sounds like work.
No, it's actually really good. It's very,
okay.
very good. I can't recommend it enough. It's early access, but it's very good early access. So I think 20 to 30 hours of gameplay in the early access build right now. Played Baldur's Gate 3 early access. As Matt alluded to, we're playing the villainous monster playthrough. I'm playing a Mind Flayer. Matt's playing a Minotaur, and Daniel is playing a Goblin. And it's hilarious and amazing. And Daniel has no hit points, so everything almost kills him as soon as it breathes on him. And I keep going, who's rethinking Goblin now? It's good. So I've been playing that on PC. Games I've played since PS5 launch. DC Universe Online. This is one of the ones that I wanted to check, right? Because, listen, man, it took 7 minutes to get into the game. I wanted to see if this really would speed it up. It takes 15 seconds to get to the character select screen. I am not joking. From 7 minutes of waiting, it's like 3.5 minutes of waiting till you can press X, and then it's another 3.5 minutes of waiting on the PS4. It's 15 seconds for the whole shebang just to get to it. Now, this is the part that's funny, is that it is 100% worse graphics because it is scaling the graphics up to 4K and it looks horrible.
I swear, if you put another minute into that game, I'm calling the authorities and having that PS5 taken away from you.
I only loaded it. That's all I did. I actually want to get the... no, I'm going to get the platinum. I'm really close to getting the platinum, so I'm going to get the platinum.
What?
Because it's an MMO, and I have this weird need to platinum MMOs on a console.
Oh my god, dude!
Did you? So to get that result, was that installed on an external connected by USB, or did you install it onto the SSD?
So all I did was pull my 4 terabyte external drive off the PS4, put it on the PS5, and that's it. That's all I did. And it's still like that much faster. I was like, holy crap, that's awesome. I have also played Astro's Playroom, as we were seeing just a couple minutes ago. But then I did want to talk about another game that I picked up that apparently none of you did, which I'm very surprised about because this is super up Matt's alley. It's called The Pathless. And it is basically an archery game that is combined with traversal. So when you shoot things, it fills your run/slide meter. And you use that to shoot more things to go faster as you go. And it's really, 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 really good. If you've not seen it or have no idea what I'm talking about, Dave, I think we showed you the trailer for it, but if you pull up the stream, you'll be able to see it. Just make sure you mute the stream.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah,
that did look cool.
It is really cool. It's got a very particular art style to it. It looks so good. It feels like you're almost playing with a doll in some ways. But yeah, it's really good. I'm finding it's a little easy at the beginning to get places where there's nothing to shoot, and so you get kind of stranded in running normally, if that makes sense.
I think that's what I saw. I watched you play it early on, and I'm like, well, that's cool, but there's not enough things to shoot, so it kind of kills the whole momentum of the game.
It gets better, like depending on where you are and how quickly you run out of meter. It's kind of one of those things where it's risk reward. Do you go off the beaten path to try and find more stuff, or do you stay to the easily identifiable places where there are things to shoot in order to keep your traversal up? And then you can also fly for limited periods of time with the Eagle, if I remember correctly. I haven't used that yet, but I think I have to turn it in first, because at the beginning of the game you find this massive eagle, and then you've got to go turn in basically his spirit to bond with your soul, if I remember correctly, if that's how that works. So yeah. Anyways, this has been a lot of fun. I haven't spent as much time with it as I'd like. I really haven't spent as much time with almost any of the games as I would like, not because I don't want to, but simply due to time. That's really the big thing.
We got 80 hours of wrestling a week to watch, so you know.
Actually, it's not that bad recently, so that's good. QVC had a $900 PS5 Sackboy bundle with other goodies via Twitter. That's an option if you want to spend $900. I don't know that I would recommend that.
There has to be a lot of goodies.
Yeah, depends on how many goodies there are. So that's The Pathless. And another game that I know you guys are both going to roll your eyes at, Fortnite. Fortnite is so fast to load now. It's the same thing. It was almost like 4 minutes on the PS4, and it loads in about 15 seconds. And Matt, I don't know how you are not playing this game right now. The Venom event. They have Venom event going and Venom skins right now. And the fact that I can play as Silver Surfer or Thor or Captain America or Storm or Wolverine or She-Hulk, who actually transforms into She-Hulk mid-match. It's pretty badass.
I can't wait to talk about that Avengers game.
We can talk about that too. I mean, the PS5 version's not out, so I haven't played it. They've lost 95% of their
96.
players. Yeah,
96.
of their player base.
96%. Let's get it right.
Yeah.
We're all about accuracy here.
Yeah.
96% of the people are gone
Yeah.
because the game sucks, and I'm so glad that I was
not,
this close.
It's not because it sucks.
I
It's
was
because
this close.
it's not because
Your
it
phone-
sucks.
Your phone agrees. I was this close to being talked into that. I am so glad.
Oh, so for the $900 QVC bundle, you get the PS5 expensive edition, 2 controllers, the headsets, the charging stand, Sackboy's Big Adventure, and then the hell is that? I guess it's a stand for your games. It looks like it's got slots for you to put your games in. They stand upright. It has a mic.
And apparently it's worth $200.
Earbud and some kind of skin for your PS5 controller. No, I don't think it's worth that. Yeah, but
Well,
you
it
know,
has to
if
be.
you're really wanting one, it ships 11/30. So there's that. But yes,
I mean, the base stuff would be about $750, so it's not.
It's not too far off the mark, but I still think it's a little high. But if you really want one, you've got the money to burn, you can. But yeah. So, anyways, Fortnite loads super quick now, which is again that's been one of the games that's taken forever to load. And the first 2 times I played it, I got Victory Royale. Thank you very much. So there's that. Been playing a lot of Godfall with Banner. You know, I know that it's getting like a lot of harsh scores, 6.5s, etc. out there. It's fun. It's kind of like Borderlands, but with giant doggos and cats that have swords. That's pretty much how I'd actually classify that. It kind of... I mean, it kind of wants to be Destiny, and it kind of wants to be Borderlands, and it's not quite either. But at the same time, the mechanics in it are interesting. It has a mechanic where you can use your light attack, and as you're hitting something, you'll actually see a segmentation of their health bar start to count down. And when you fill the entire thing, if you do a strong attack, they just explode. So it's kind of an interesting mechanic, or you can just beat them to death. It's your choice. But if you want to use that mechanic, there are some gear sets that base things off of that mechanic, so that you can turn it into like a combo system, etc. I've got one right now that every time I make one of them explode like that, it automatically adds to the meter in an explosion to everybody else around it. And so there's interesting things in there. There's different builds that you can do. Like there are builds based off of bleed or fire or ice or things like that. It's, is it the greatest game I've ever played? Absolutely not. Is it fun to jump on with Ken and play a couple rounds? Yes. Is it fun to play limitedly by myself? Yes. And the missions are not like super long, so some of the story missions are very long, but you kind of do like big story mission, and then it unlocks the zone, and then the individual missions in the zone can range from like 2 minutes to 20 minutes, and that's it. It's not terribly like, it's not like you're going to be stuck there for 2.5 hours, and so it's kind of interesting. And you get 2 weapons that you can wield at any one time and switch between on the fly, and so then it. How can you create synergies and combos and stuff? It's a lot of fun. And Ken says it's a fun hack and slash. Gets a little rough solo near endgame. But that's why we have friends that like to play online. Even though Dave has glazed over and pretty sure is petrifying as we speak. Because it's an online game.
Encased in amber.
Encased in amber, yes.
Yeah, it's we're not.
And then I also for some reason, was playing Tetris Effect this week.
Oh,
I'm not sure why, but
I'm back.
yeah.
What do you mean you're not sure why?
With all the other stuff that I have to do, I just like used it as a palate cleanser. It was very nice. I very much enjoyed it. And then
I got a question for you. I got
Yeah.
a question for you. Legit question.
Yeah.
VR. Where are you
about
at with that? Where are you at with that?
Love it on the PC.
And how much do you play it?
Well, I have problems in that I didn't have a computer that was working properly. Now that I have it working properly, it is actually good. The old computer is I got a new graphics card for it, and it's gonna be a VR server. We're gonna install it in the other room. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna play it every week, but when there's new titles that are good, I will play it. It was worth it. I've got my return on investment for it. I will say that much.
He is stepped away from the mic for the
I
moment.
see that.
Yeah. So, we use the PSVR probably once every couple of weeks. It's usually for Beat Saber. Either Eve or I will be playing Beat Saber. I do now, having done Astro's Playroom. Is it Playroom or Playground? I keep thinking Playground, but is it Playroom?
Astro.
Because the other one's Playroom, isn't it?
It's
the
Astro's Playroom. Playroom is this
Playroom
one.
and Playroom VR were the other two. So I think I'm going to try to get Astrobot Rescue Mission because I've heard how
It's
really
really
good
good.
that is.
It's really good.
And do that. And I left my PS4 hooked up, which now it's super silent. So we've just left the PSVR hooked up to that because I'm out of USB ports, although I have yet to use the PS5 camera. Although, let me tell you, that is a nice little design there. I thought the stupid clam thing looked dumb just looking at it, but seeing how it actually works and what they did with it, that is actually a really super cool little design.
So you were away, Dave. I said I feel like I've gotten my investment out of it. I'd like to get one of the newer ones with the better visual fidelity, but I can't justify that right now.
Yeah.
But as far as having bought the original Vive and then the games for it, I love the games that are out for it. I don't play it every week, but I do actually want to get into playing Beat Saber for exercise.
Huh, that makes sense.
Why do you ask?
I had a friend who was asking about getting into VR, and I was just like, oh, I haven't heard anybody talking about it. And the biggest fan I know of VR is been kind of silent on it. So I was just kind of curious as to.
So No Man's Sky came out for it, and I picked that up. The latest game I picked up was False Advertising, which is Star Wars Squadrons.
It wasn't false advertising.
It was
You just wanted
false
something.
advertising.
You wanted something that just it did not promise.
Yeah, well, they should have made a bigger deal about that. Watch Dogs Legion. Also been playing that on PS5. Since it does have a save transfer. That was actually the last thing I booted my PS4 for.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. So there is a native PS5 version of that.
Yes, there is. And I was worried. I was worried because I bought the Ultimate Edition, but it only let me redeem the normal edition. But what happens is that your stuff is in there to redeem and download in the PS5 library. So you will be able to redeem any extras that you got. So I've been playing that, and that's been fun as well. And then last but not least, the one that I wanted to talk to the most for this podcast is Demon Souls. Because this game, it is a system seller. It is a system seller.
Oh, God, come on.
Dude, it is so beautiful. I cannot believe that this is the same game. And the crazy part is, all of my muscle memory from how long ago was this damn game released? It's got to be
8 years ago?
No. Demon Souls?
20?
The first one? Yeah, I think it's 20 years. Now I'm pulling it up because now you've got me.
Wait,
serious.
20? I was just joking.
Demon Souls. Demon Souls came out in 2009, so 11 years.
Wow. Okay, I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah. I mean, it was PlayStation 3, and like I legit remember spending like 20 hours just on the first section of the steps.
God, that was PS3.
It was.
It's starting to bother me that, like, just how old some of the games are.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, I was just, like, thinking about, like, some of the Ratchet and Clank games, and I was just like, oh, that was PS2.
Yep. And anyways, like Blue Point Studios, if you like, I know that they're mostly known for doing ports, and this is kind of a port, but it's also kind of like a remake of the game from the ground up. And it looks and plays phenomenal. There is no, like, my muscle memory works perfectly in this game. I remember where all the secrets are. I remember how to open this door, how to move on to the next thing. And the graphics are absolutely, like, there's nothing else that compares at launch on the PS5. It is the best looking game that I think I've ever seen. There's so much detail in every single shot, and that's the stuff you're actually playing. It's crazy. But yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I know that, some people are, not into Souls games, and I get that.
He's talking about both of us, Dave. So it's okay. You're not alone.
I don't know. You're at least, pleasant about it. I am.
I get it. But man, it's so good. I mean, you like Mega Man, don't you?
I used to.
Okay.
I can't say I would be like, ooh, I need to play Mega Man 8 right now, because, I remember nearly, breaking a controller back in college, playing it, which I pretty much think that was the, last days of my really hardcore gaming, was Mega Man 8. Because, man, that surfboard, hoverboard level, that did me in.
Mega Man in general, for me. I mean, but the point is it's a hard game that you enjoyed. And this is the modern day equivalent of Mega Man. And I get that's not for everyone. But I actually think it's more forgiving than Mega Man, because you've got an invincible role in this game. You don't have that in Mega Man.
Nah.
Yeah. So
I think probably the last one that was like really like that way for me, where you just had to be perfect, was Ninja Gaiden on the Xbox. Do you remember that one?
Yep, absolutely.
And just like how like unforgiving that damn game was.
So I would say that this is slightly more forgiving than that, but not much. And the whole premise of the game is learning the patterns, where the monsters are, where they're going to surprise you from, because that's one of the things is like, I rarely I don't get fazed by scary movies. I don't jump at jump scares. That stuff has never affected me, but I'll be damned if going into a room and there's a door that I didn't see that something attacks me from doesn't scare the bejesus out of me. And then it's like, okay, noted, that's there on the right side once I go in through this door. And so then it becomes, okay, how can I bait that out? How can I that's the part I like about it, is figuring out the pattern to solve the level, and the level design is fantastic. And it's all connected. Once you get to the end of a level, well, you kick a gate down and suddenly you've got a shortcut through most of the level for when you pick up the next time you play.
It is pretty funny about pattern recognition with that. I mean, because that's, growing up, in our generation of gaming, it was all pattern recognition. I mean, that's what games were, And
that's why I'm surprised you've never given this a fair shake.
It's not so
you've
much
never
that
actually played it, so I don't know why you hate it so much.
Confession time.
Okay.
I did play the old one.
Demon Souls.
Yeah.
And you couldn't make it past
it wasn't fun for me anymore.
I got it.
Like that level of, commitment just wasn't fun for me. And that's when I realized I was just like, those days, I think are over for me, as a thing. And it's not totally true because like I'll still do it for 2D games. And I think that's where the weird difference is. I don't I somehow make a distinction for 3D versus 2D with that because what was that game, Katana Zero?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, is that an easy or hard game? I don't know. There was a lot of retrying in that. I know that.
Yeah, I'd say it was middle towards hard.
Yeah. And I did, ace that game, through trial and error and all that kind of stuff and like, replaying and stuff, So like, I mean, I do still have it in me at some point. But I apparently draw the line where I won't do it for 3D games. I'll still do it for 2D games. And I'm not sure why that disconnect is there.
Yeah,
But it is.
yeah.
And I just for some reason I'm just like, I don't feel it for that. But then I'll do it for a 2D game. Like there was another one. 2D had like a lot of climbing and stuff.
That narrows it down.
There was like no. There was like a kind of like a castle in a winter. It was kind of like a puzzle.
Castlevania?
No. Totally cannot remember. It was like it was a trendy 2D game, but it was kind of like a
Celeste.
yes.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow. Good on you, Matt, because I would have never got that in a million years.
How did you get that?
And something about when you said it made me first think that was what you were talking about, and then you said trendy. The trendy thing is what made me ask that is the one. So yeah.
Yeah, because it was always brought up in like there was
Game
like
of the year discussions and stuff.
yeah, it was like Celeste. What's that other one that's really good that like Ian always plays it? And I love
Cells.
that game. Dead Cells.
Yeah.
Like it was like Celeste, Dead Cells. There was like a few games that came out
There
kind
was
of like
3 or 4, yeah, around that
time that just like were really just caught people with that.
Well, so
And,
then I'm surprised you're not playing Hollow Knight right now.
Oh, I did download it.
Okay.
Hollow Knight was the one that always got pushed to the back burner because of all the other games. Like I think like I was either going to go Hollow Knight or Dead Cells, and I went Dead Cells for a while. And then yeah, so like I just never got the Hollow Knight. I was playing like
They're finally done too, by the way. I don't know if anyone that watches our show also watches those guys, but they've moved on to Hades. They beat 5BC on stream, both of them did. So they've moved on to Hades.
nice.
So yeah.
And Matt, I know you can't see my screen right now, but I'll have you know God of War is sitting there installed waiting for me.
Nice. Now you just got to execute.
Eh.
I've got Days Gone sitting on mine.
Yeah.
That's one I picked up out of the Plus collection that I didn't own, so that I grabbed that out of the Plus collection and threw it on my.
Oh man, I have to play God of War still too.
Have you done Rock Band yet?
Not on the 5, no.
I want to know how that works. That's my...
Yeah, because I don't know how the library is going to switch over. So
and I'm real concerned about that nonsense. So that may be, the PS4 may become the dedicated Rock Band machine, if that's the case. Because
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll take a look.
Rock Band and VR machine. Yeah.
I would probably be safe than sorry on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, I haven't gotten to Sackboy, Bug Snacks, Spider-Man Miles Morales, not because I didn't want to, I just ran out of time. Watched on the net a show that I stumbled across that is right up Dave's and Matt's alley called Actually. It is Jeopardy for nerds, and you must form your answers with the phrase actually, and then whatever the answer actually is. And they bring on like net personalities who are known as geeks in certain domains, and then they compete against each other. It's pretty good. It's called Actually, and it's on YouTube. You can find it. Watched AEW's Full Gear pay-per-view. Did you watch the pay-per-view, Dave?
No, I did not. I have not had time for anything.
Okay. You
Like
have
that.
the ability to do so.
Yes, it's on the list of things I want to do.
Okay, just making sure. We
Yeah.
rated it like a 10 amongst the
Oh,
three of
nice.
us, and Lexi is now the new predictions champion. She walked away
Nice.
with the title.
That's
Watch
awesome.
the two AEW Dynamites following that. Both have been very good. I am interested to see where they're going with their storylines.
You said you wanted to talk about one thing before, and I did watch it when it was Jericho and MJF.
Oh, the singing and dancing number?
That was hilarious.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
That was really good.
I don't think we'll ever see that in wrestling again, and I was surprised we saw it the first time, but it was
Yeah,
good.
no,
It was good.
that was. I like their whole shtick.
I am almost all caught up on The Voice. I think we're one episode behind. I watched Animaniacs episode 1, and it was Animaniacs through and through, so no complaints there. And the Pinky and the Brain episode was pretty good too.
That was really solid.
All I have to say is any animation that uses the actual Buck Rogers theme song in it gets my stamp of approval. That's all I have to say.
That was amazing.
It was. I was sad that they actually cut like the middle out. It was just the beginning and the end. But
Yeah.
still, it was enough of a callback that they probably didn't have to pay licensing rights. Because it was
I
parody.
literally my head like snapped up. I actually almost injured my neck.
I was
like,
expecting Pinky to go beady 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 brain, but it
Yeah.
didn't happen. And then I've watched the first 3 episodes of Discovery. I have not watched beyond that, and I've watched the first episode of The Mandalorian. I've also recorded some 4K video for how-tos for the PS5 that I'm hoping to get launched in the next week, mainly because of things Dave was saying. He has some issues with the PS5. I have a ton of issues with the UI and how they have changed things to make things actually more difficult than they used to be.
I'm not alone then.
No, it's like it's really different from
It's
how
annoying,
it used to
right?
be, and it's kind of annoying. On the one hand,
Somebody moved your cheese.
yeah, that's exactly
No,
what
but
it
it's
is.
like no, but there's like no quick way to turn it off.
Well, there is. You just
not
got to tap
bad,
the PlayStation button and then go down and circle all the way to the right. I mean, move all the way to the right.
Which is
It's
what I
not-
did with the other one anyway. I went up to the thing and swept all the way to the right, and that's how I always did it. So
I think I held the PlayStation button and then just put go to sleep, which
Yeah.
is a lot faster. But-
Why isn't that there?
Well,
because hold now takes you to the home screen.
right, hold takes you to the
Lame.
home screen. Yeah.
Lame.
I mean, you're not wrong. It is more. I mean, it's one of those things that, yeah, we're complaining about it now, but I seriously think that within 2 months, none of us are going to be saying anything about it anymore.
Oh yeah,
It's like
I already
hashtag-
stopped.
First world problems, but yeah, I mean,
I already stopped caring, and believe me, I'm ready for all the hate mail of anybody who like you're complaining about something when you own a PS5. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just like the first time I went to shut it off, it took me an extra minute, and I was just like, I was under pressure when I was supposed to do it. It was just like my wife wanted to watch TV, I had to turn it off, and I was just like, I
Let me
don't
tell
know how
you
to turn it off. It's
that
new.
chat parties are some BS. Chat parties are ridiculous to make now. Before, you just went over to the chat party thing, said create new chat party, and then invited the people you wanted to. Now you have to go to the game base. You have to find the people in a list if you've had a party with that person before. If not, you have to create a party, which the party is not your chat party. It is just a party,
Group.
a group. And then once you have the group, then you can send invites to voice chat, except that you don't invite anyone. You just join the voice chat, and it supposedly sends invites, but who knows if that's really true. It's
I think I've gotten several, so I'm pretty sure it does. I just never joined.
it's just I'd like to see there is a notification that says, "Hey, your
Yeah.
invites have been sent" or something, because it's really weird the way it's like you're coming into it backwards almost. So that's kind of strange. Now I will say that this whole
And also, what's that thing called again? Because that is the weirdest name. That
game base.
the game base. Yeah, that I don't get that phrase.
I'm gonna invite Ken to the chat. Not that I expect him to actually do it, but I just want to quickly show the.
I just do either of you understand the term game base? I don't.
No.
It's the base for you to play your games. I don't.
See,
I don't
and I
get
mean,
it, but
like
anyway.
even after you have to join the chat of the party that you just created, and then you're still not even in the voice chat. You got to click through again to go view the voice chat. I will say that this whole share screen thing, where we can pin other people's screens as we're playing
That
together,
worked pretty sweet.
is flipping great, especially for games with exploration that you're doing with a friend. Hey, what's up, Ken? Oh, he's not in yet, but that is like super phenomenal. So it's really good. Oh, you joined, and what the hell? Say something
He's
now.
in your controller.
He shouldn't be. I have my headsets plugging in. That's very strange. So that's the other thing, is that trying to figure out how to route chat to a specific place is mind-bogglingly difficult. I actually don't know how I did it. I have it now, and this is the part that cracks me up. If I plug the headset in, the earbud in, then my party chat comes through my television set. If I don't have it plugged in, then it comes through the controller. And I have no idea how I set it that way. And I'm afraid to touch anything because I'm afraid I'll lose the ability to stream with friends. So I just leave it and pray. I mean, I luckily like set whatever it was to not change. You know how it automatically changes when you plug stuff in and unplugs? I have that set so it's not automatically changing. So as long as I have a earbud plugged in, I'm good to go for streaming. But I have no idea how I made it happen. Ken and I worked on his and for like 25 minutes, and I think he finally got what he wanted, which was the game to go through his headsets and the chat to come out the TV, if I remember right. But I still have no idea how we did it, actually. It's very strange. Anyways, there are definitely some improvements that could be made there, is the short answer.
Yeah, I like the download list. I think that was implemented really well. Although I noticed if you don't have anything currently for the download list, it disappears. So
Right.
that's a little weird, but it's fine. Most of the music stuff thing with Spotify is too simple. It just works really, really well. The thing that to me is still kind of messy is, and it's not messy because it's way better than it was before, but yet at the same time it's worse, is the store. So it's really easy to get into the store, but not so easy to actually navigate it. It's just a lot of the layout and choices are really weird. Like I can't find my download list. That's because it's not in the store. You have to go to your profile to find your download list,
Right, which is
which
weird.
is even weird. But I like the way that the store is done now, in the sense of it is just another tab. You don't go into the store is just always there. It's like, it's like Steam or Epic. It's if you're in the game launcher, it's just there. So in that sense, it's really good. It's easy to get into. It's harder to find your plus games, like to where to claim them.
What
That's
are
a
you talking
little
about?
trickier. Well, I couldn't.
It's a giant pain under, like, if you just go down 3, it's a giant pain that's November monthly
Well, yeah,
games.
but it used to be a giant plus right on the cross media thing,
Sure,
right? You could just
you're
go there
correct.
and do that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had to figure out, oh, this thing that's a giant plus isn't just go buy a plus subscription. It's my games too and stuff. Okay, well, that wasn't clear, but
And there is one thing about that I wanted to talk about, because we had kind of assumed that PS5s would be getting a game every other month. But when you go into PlayStation Plus, it specifically says Bugsnax is your PS5 monthly game. So it looks like they will be giving us monthly games with your PS Plus subscription for PS5. So that's kind of interesting to me.
that'll be cool.
2 PS4s and a PS5 every month.
I can't complain,
Plus
especially
the-
since the 4s are playable on the 5. So
Right. And the PS Plus collection is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Everything
really
you could
good service
possibly
in there.
want. I mean, Persona 5, Last of Us remastered, Monster Hunter, Uncharted, Ratchet and Clank, all this stuff for free.
Mortal Kombat
X10,
X. Yeah.
yeah. Bloodborne, again, for those of you that like Souls. Not Dave. Dave, they have Arkham Knight on there for free for you. And Last Guardian. And Matt, they have
good.
Final Fantasy 15. I know you already beat it.
But I think it's the Royal Edition too, isn't it? So it's got
It is.
all the original DLC and stuff in it too. So
Yep.
that's a pretty nice.
And they have the
bonus.
Crash Insane trilogy. I'm going to be downloading that
Yeah,
eventually.
I downloaded that. Mitchell started playing it, and then we realized, wow, Crash 1 is hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's during that time.
it was not a good game.
And they have Infamous Second Son, so you can actually play some Infamous if you want to.
Oh, I gotta try that out on my
Ooh.
TV. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I like that game.
Horizon, the base Horizon is
Base-
on there too, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Oh, isn't it? I thought base Horizon was on there.
Unless, no, it is not.
Oh, okay. That's a seemingly oversight with the sequel on the way.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought about grabbing Second Son because I platinumed it and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Those Infamous games, man, I don't think they get the credit they deserve.
I never did the evil playthrough, so I could. I mean, I guess I had to do some evil stuff
If you
too.
platinumed it, yeah.
I
you
guess.
did.
Yeah, I guess so. But normally I
God, I
don't do
could-
the platinums.
God, I could never bring myself to be the evil in those games. I swore like I would start off like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a total bastard. No, never happens. The other stuff takes over, and instinct
they-
takes over, and it's like, nope, gotta protect them.
If they do a remaster of Infamous 2, you really need to do the evil playthrough of Infamous 2 because
It
it is
is good.
really good. The
is
story
really-
is amazing.
I was surprised how heartbreaking it is.
Oh wow.
Because
Yeah,
it's not really pure evil. It's just
It's
Dark.
yeah, it's super dark and super sad at the end.
Oh
But-
yeah, I never played the evil playthrough of that.
Well, see, I'm
yeah,
I'm very similar. I almost never play the evil play. Infamous is like the only series I've ever done it, and we're doing Cyberpunk tabletop game that we had our first episode last night. We're building the world for this, and I am having a real problem because in every campaign, I'm not the lawful good paladin, but I'm usually like the chaotic good equivalent of Batman or a ranger that has a moral
Yeah.
code, etc. And in Cyberpunk, everyone is a douchebag. Everyone
Yeah.
is bad. And so it's like really messing with me because Mark the player is having a real hard time getting into the mindset of the character for that game. And I know I'm going to get him killed because in the end I'm going to play him as a goody two shoes character and he's going to get eaten alive in this world. So, should be fun. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
it. Thursdays
the,
on Gamersledge.
who's running that.
Daniel is running that.
Oh, thanks.
And we've got.
And he
5
will kill you. He'll kill you.
He
dead.
will. He will kill me. No. I expect to die. And that's actually the mindset I'm trying to go into is I expect to die. I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory because that's a very cyberpunky thing to do. So, but yeah, last night we had a 4.5 hour session, and we decided early on that we were going to bring all the players in to actually build the world. And so we're playing in what was New Orleans, now called Lumens Nouveau, and we built the city last night. Like all of us just took sections
On
of
rock and roll.
Yes, there's it. That is actually the state the city state song for Lumens Nouveau. Is we built this city by a Jefferson Starship knockoff band.
Nice.
Yeah, so
They were just
that's the thing.
Starship at that point.
Yeah, they were just Starship.
That group went so many names.
It's so weird they changed names like that. Although I do get annoyed when people sit there and say that that is the worst song ever made. It's just like, really? Have you heard other music? Like,
Country?
for whatever reason.
It's not even bad, much less the
No.
worst song ever made.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For whatever reason, I saw a lot of lists where people list, we built this city on rock and roll as the worst song ever made. And I'm like, okay, you might be annoyed that the lineage of the group and they made this like schlocky, poppy, rock song and everything. Like, fine, you can be annoyed at that.
Well,
But
without
there are
schlocky-
really bad songs out there.
without that schlocky pop song, I would have never discovered the rest of their catalog, because that was the song when I was a teenager that brought me into them. So,
No, you were watching Mannequin. You're like, this is the greatest movie ever made, and
yeah, nope, I wasn't doing that, but
I was.
good,
Is it still the
good
greatest movie
temple
ever made?
reference, yeah, right time period.
I will fully admit, I love Mannequin. That movie is great.
Weird science for me.
I'm not saying weird science. I'm not saying it's like better than Weird Science or anything like that.
No, I'm saying yours is Mannequin, mine's Weird Science.
Wait, I'm not saying like Mannequin was my movie. I'm just saying it's a great movie.
Okay.
Carry on.
Because Weird Science is. I actually just watched Weird Science a little while ago, like a couple months ago. It's funny. Chet is hilarious in that movie.
Kelly LeBrock. Yeah. So on the to-do list. The other thing I did want to mention is we did a unboxing video. Our first unboxing video with the new setup. I actually have a camera, which Matt, you are now on notice for playing card games with me because I have the card game camera set up. So,
All right.
figure that stuff out. We did an unboxing video for the animated deck of many things. It is a D&D tarot card set. It's an artifact that a lot of DMs put into their campaign. But the cool thing about it, and we're not going to go through all of them, but I'll just grab one so that you get an idea of what it's like. Is they are animated cards that have holographic animations on them. So I'll try and hold it so that the camera can see it, but as you
There's too much
tilt it,
glare.
yeah, there's a lot of glare.
Oh, the head's changing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I can
so
tell the head's changing.
It goes from a devil to a angel, but the glare is pretty bad. Yeah. Which is why I had it set up the other way, so we don't have to deal with that. But anyways, company made these, and they made an animated version, and so we actually unboxed them and went through all of them, and it's a badass package. So that's also up on the site right now, on both YouTube and Twitch to check out. And it's in its Mimic box, just sitting there behind me. So now you know where it is, Matt. And that's it. What else do we want to say about the PS5? We've all had it for a week. We've all played it
giant.
extensively. It is giant.
Although
And
I
it's
will
not
say,
even the height; it's the width. I appreciated how tall the thing was, but it is wide. I mean, if it's standing on end, it's just that flare at the top is huge.
the funny thing is, it matches perfectly with the furniture I have. Just put that aside, and I'm really thankful for that because the only 4K TV in the house is in our living room. So I was like, I'm not going to throw this thing on the 1080p down in the basement, even though that's where I should be playing, PlayStation, but whatever. And so with my son likes playing in the living room, for stuff. So I kind of wanted to put it there with the 4K TV. My wife had me put up a TV in the kitchen so she can watch the news and stuff while he's playing games and still be near. So that worked out well. And the shelving, the TV stand, shelf thing, we have is white, mostly kind of white-ish, what it's own, and it matches kind of perfectly. And the height is actually right in line with the way the PS5 lines up with the whole thing. And we have this little fake tree, kind of next to it. So it kind of just goes right in between there, slides in. just fine. But it's just like, man, that could have been a disaster if it like went any other way. Like she would have been like feng shui. This is not working, you know. But it is. That thing is huge.
I had to actually change out end tables that I was using because the one I had previously was too tall, and the PS5, like I've got three TVs in front of me, and the third one is kind of a wall mounted at an angle 1080p monitor, and the PS5 was up into the monitor, like moving the brackets on the wall. So I literally had to. I was like, "Nope, that's not going to work." So Lexi found me an end table that would work, and it has about a foot clearance now. But yeah, the thing is like, if you've gone to Italy or to any Catholic cathedral where they have a lot of things on display, and you find those old giant illustrated Bibles. It is the size of one of those. It is a freaking tome that is closed.
It's heavy.
And I don't think it's that heavy, but man, it is freaking huge.
Okay, compared to the PS4, mine is sitting right next to my PS4, and it makes my PS4 feel like an Atari 2600. I mean, size comparative wise and weight. I mean, it's just there's not even a comparison there.
Like I'm not even angry at the design like anymore because it's just like
I think it looks cool.
So, like yeah, like it does look kind of cool, and like
I'm just
futuristic and stuff. Like
I
I
know what Matt's annoyed by, and I agree.
Yeah, the lights.
Yeah, it should be blue. It should be blue.
And all of the promo images, every single promo image, the light
blue.
that's on when the thing's on is blue. But they stayed with the PS4, which is blue is startup, white is run, yellow, orange, whatever that is standby, and red is error.
overheat.
But I really thought. I always thought with the PS4 that was wrong. Blue should have been startup, or white should have been startup, and blue should have been run. And I thought, they're going to fix this with the PS5. And to me, it's broke. And no, they didn't. It was sad panda.
The thing that's funny about it is when you brought that up during the week, I thought back to remember the big deal about the PS2 having a blue LED, and everybody was so impressed because exactly it was total Beck moment. It's weird. I was listening to a Beck station when I went to today for most of the day. Fantastic on Alexa when you do that. You sit there and say like play a Beck station. It's just a great mix. But yeah, like remember that was like the biggest deal back in the day. It was like the PS2's got a blue LED on there. Like oh my god, cutting edge.
Yeah,
and it was exciting. And like now we're just like, really?
Why can't it be blue?
Yeah, I mean, you know me. It's just,
Oh yeah,
blue
you're
lights.
blue. But yeah.
Blue lights everywhere.
I do like the other thing about the controller is it's got the colored lights along the side of the touchpad, and then it's got that like one white one down at the bottom, or at least that's the only color I've ever seen it is that little white one down at the center.
Yeah,
the touchpad is really a lot easier to get to, I think, than it was on the DualShock 4.
Yeah,
it feels that way.
Trying to pop up to it to grab for the map button. I've only used the share button a couple, or what it's called, create button or whatever now. I've only used that a couple of times to grab a couple of random screenshots, so I don't really have much experience.
Did that seem like a kludgy thing? Like I went to do that to get a screenshot, and the game was still playing. Like, shouldn't it pause when you want to do that?
No, it doesn't.
It did for me, but I did it with Miles Morales, and it stopped the game.
Yeah, it did it with something else. I was like, oh, that's a cool scene. I want to... Wait, why is it still moving? Yeah, oh, I'm dead.
It like even when I did the Victory Royale, it took the screenshot, but the game was still going. So I had to quick save it and then get back into the game.
Yeah, that was annoying.
But yeah.
But again, not going to complain. Very thankful I got one.
Yes,
Don't hate me.
Yeah.
Or hate me. Like, it's fine. Like I feel bad because there's like so many people I know that are like trying to get one, but like they just started on like the day of release.
Yeah, but they're not real gamers. I'm sorry.
Well, there's
it's
there's
true.
that.
It's true. I mean,
But also at the same time, like I made this comment today, elsewhere. You guys wouldn't have seen it. Like people that are complaining about this, it's just like, look, we are. I mean, console scarcity at launch is not a new thing.
Mm-mm.
We are literally 35 years into that.
Well, this is the worst for a PlayStation console. I mean,
it is, but at the same
two
time,
was bad, but it wasn't this bad.
Is it? I don't know.
I don't
Like,
know.
these
I
were-
was able to walk out with 5 2s standing in line somewhere because they did this online only and nothing worked. I think this was far worse, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
this is worse. Yeah.
And I think that
Well, bots are killing this thing.
they 100% are. At first, I thought Ken was insane because sometimes he might go for some conspiracy theories.
No, it's real.
But I actually saw some botnet groups that were like, oh, I got 20 PS5s. I'm like,
Yeah.
if
a
you get
coworker of mine's kid's friend got 26 using a botnet, and yeah.
it's like if you get a PS5 into your cart, then it should be accounted for until you check out. That no one else should be able to buy that item because that specific item should be in your cart. And that's the same issue that Walmart was having every single time that they had restocks. And that would kill the bots because people would have them in their carts and they wouldn't be able to get 27 of them at once.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Also drove me nuts because, like, that company Analog that does, like, the real, like, niche, fancy hardware for, like, playing old games.
Yeah.
So they're, coming out with an Analog Pocket, and same deal. I had it in my, cart, and when I went to check out, all of a sudden it was out of stock. And it was like, it was in my cart. I was there. They were like, I don't understand. And they're just taking like pre-orders for it. And this is the thing that really drives me nuts about that company is that they were just taking pre-orders for it. Take the pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
And then how many you have to make. What's the difference at that point? They're not hand tooling the stuff. They're sending it somewhere to get made. If you're taking pre-orders, you're going to get paid for them. What's the problem?
Yeah.
I don't understand that, but it was the same thing. And of course, 15 minutes later, all the eBay, things went up for them, which were even more, it's just like complete belligerence because you can't sell something you don't have and they're not going to be produced for like another year.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, it was just the whole thing was just like maddening. Like there's, I bet you can find almost at least half, if not more, the number of, available units were probably just, available online for double the price. And it's just like, I'm not meaning, I'm not against capitalism, but when it's like something, something like that, it's just like, you're being ridiculous.
And Sony announced today that they are completely out. They have none. There are no more. They are going to work on building up.
Do we have numbers? I wasn't before this call. I was not able to find out numbers of how many they actually sold.
Because they did online only. The only people who can answer that question is Sony, and they have not released a press release yet saying what their numbers are. Now they did say they were going to have more PS5s produced for launch than the PS4 had, which means that they had to have more than 2 million of them. But it could have been 2,050,000 for all we know, but still.
I saw Japanese sales numbers comparison between Xbox and PS5. That was it.
Yeah, well, but even
that was
so, it
nothing.
was like 150K, and that was the entire allotment for Japan.
Which seems insane to me.
Yeah, Tokyo by itself is 18 million people, so you think we have it hard? I think they had it twice as hard.
That usually they take care of Japan pretty well to start.
But console sales have been dying off in Japan for a long time, And so now they have specifically stated that they are a second tier country.
Ooh, that sucks.
You,
I wonder if the Series S would sell there well with the small form factor.
I don't
Considering
think it sold very well.
I don't think anything Xbox there sold well, but
Yeah.
you'd think maybe it had a chance just because of the small form factor. But did any of you guys get what accessories did you all get?
I got the charging
the
stand
5.
and an extra controller, and that's it.
Dave?
I got an extra controller and the headphones.
Okay,
That's it.
so have you used the headphones at all?
I have not yet.
Okay. I got an extra controller, the charging stand for the controller, the camera, and the headset. I've used this headset plugged into the controller, and I've used the wireless one with the USB plugged into the thing because you have to put a dongle into your system to connect the wireless headphones to the thing that they're designed to go with. But whatever. They're light. They are super, super, super light. So
They are
they're
light.
good for really long-term sessions. The cups are smaller than like on this. So with my ginormous ears, they don't really fit in there super well. But that's a me problem. Another me problem, and Dave, you'll probably have this problem, is the material of this.
I was worried about that.
Whatever this is, sticks to bald heads. So
when I was looking at that, I was just like, "Oh, this is not going to be good."
But you only notice it when you try to move it or take it off, right? So
Yeah.
it's while you're playing, it's incredibly light and pretty comfortable. Again, because of the smaller cups, the pressure isn't quite even. It does push more at the bottom, just because of the way the tension arm on it is. The microphone seems to work pretty well. But so far as terms of like this 3D audio thing, I'm not picking it up. I'm a pretty decent audiophile. I'm not like a high end, and the tinnitus in my ear, or tinnitus, whatever it says, it kind of ruined that some, but it's not
that's what I was
really
worried about.
selling me so far. It's not. And again, I don't know if it's just one of those things where I haven't sat there for long enough, like the performance mode, to have it absorb me, and then when I move back out to regular surround, have it be a big deal. But maybe I just haven't had the right game. I thought Miles Morales, they said, was a big one for that, but I haven't really had it happen with me, and I played a good couple hours of the game on the headset. But we'll wait for the first game that's like, this is the game that will prove 3D audio is the bestest thing ever, and then we'll see.
Let me say that the one FU that Sony gets for the PlayStation 5 is my headsets show up. They did not show up on the PS4. They show up on the PS5. And then when you click to pair them, it says, this cannot be used with PlayStation 5.
So they did. So they tease you, basically, is what.
Yeah, it's worse than it was on the PS4. Because at least on the PS4, you couldn't see it, right? It never showed up in the list. It would show up as USB device or Bluetooth device, and that was it. Now it actually says, "Oh, look, it's your Bose headsets. You'd like to use your Bose headsets, wouldn't you, to experience 3D audio? Oh, this can't be used with PS5. Screw you, Sony."
But we're Sony headset folks.
No, we're not. Apple earbuds, Bose, yeah.
I actually have a really good. Oh, actually, I'm curious about. Maybe I should try that. I have a really good set of Sony noise canceling. It was like normally like a $300 set of headphones that I got for like half price.
Nice.
On like
should work.
One of those crazy Amazon sales or something. So I'm curious if like do they have to be something special for 3D audio, or they fudge it through?
I think any headset will get you some effect. So anything you plug into the controller, you should get some effect from it. There's something special about the 3D pulse that's supposed to give you the bigger experience. I haven't really read into it enough to know exactly what it is.
Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough.
But I sat there with the headset on, running through the configuration, because there's 5 or 6 different settings you can set it at to make it optimized for you. I could hear zero difference between the 5, 6 settings. So maybe I'm broken. I don't know.
So both PlayStation versions sold 118,085 consoles in Japan. The biggest selling physical game was Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales with 18,640 copies, followed by Demon Souls at 18,607 copies. I demand a recount.
Doesn't that seem like a low count of games being sold with it?
Well, I mean, that's
Like that
basically
many?
a 10% attach rate, maybe
Like-
15.
Like nobody bought a game to go with it, or they were just like really going all digital. Like,
Yeah, I guess. It
Seems weird
does
to me,
say
right?
physical, so I'm guessing it's all digital. We won't have
Yeah.
numbers for digital stuff. The Xbox Series and X and S combined sold 20,534 units.
it's just like the old days.
Now, in comparison, the PS4 sold 309,000 units compared to 118,000 units. And the Xbox One sold 23,000 units versus the 20,534 for both the X and the S. So, like I said, console sales have been dropping in Japan. But, to be fair,
To be fair,
thank you, they sold out of all pre-orders for all of them. So the 20,534 were all the pre-orders that were available sold out in Japan. And same for the PS5, 118,085 consoles is all they had allotted for Japan, and were all pre-order sold out.
So the thing's pretty much sold out worldwide, right?
Yep.
I mean, at least
it's
for now.
weird that there was like no retail. Like, did GameStop get any?
GameStop got them.
They weren't
yeah.
supposed to. Well, I mean, they weren't supposed to get in the store. They were not supposed to be any in store.
Well, you could have it delivered to store and then pick it up.
right, but not to pick up, not to just walk in and buy one off the shelf, so to speak.
No, I'm not saying like they weren't supposed to have day one, but like, did they have pre-orders? I don't even know.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah, and on the website they had the crazy, really expensive bundles.
Oh, they had the crazy bundles. Yeah, those were
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. All right,
The
that's gonna bring
Yeah,
us to final
the-
thoughts. We gotta wrap this up.
yep.
Why we're? Oh, wow.
Yeah, Dave. Dave, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Sackboy makes me happy. I'm just really happy that there's a Sackboy game. That's all. He's great.
I'll be happy once there's online multiplayer.
What do you mean? There's online multiplayer with Sackboy. No?
No,
No,
it's-
it got delayed.
got delayed till
Oh, it
next
did?
year. Yeah.
Wow, till next year? Oh,
Yeah,
wait, that's
well,
not
I
that
mean,
long.
it's
now.
not that long, but yeah.
Oh,
next year.
God, that was... Well, you know, when a month is 365 days this year, it's,
I know,
it's a little-
Matt, final thoughts.
You know, I had one and I should have written it down because now I've totally forgotten what it. Oh no, now I remember what it was. I made it through book 2 of the Expanse series, Caliban's War. So that makes 2 novels I've read this year, which is 200. That's a significant increase over the last few years, which are basically 0. So so I'm really enjoying that series. If you have any science fiction-y type likings and you've not heard of The Expanse, either the show or the book series, I highly recommend looking at it. It's incredibly well written. I mean, there's every once in a while I'll recommend a science fiction book to my mom to read because every once in a while she needs a break from her murder mystery novels and needs something. And I found things like, I got her into the Ender's Game series and, a couple of other, more unique science fiction setting series. And this one, she's probably as, if not more, enamored with this series as I am. So it's really, really well written. It's very well done. And having watched the series first, to see how close the two are to each other is just amazing because that rarely happens. Incredibly rarely
And it's a
happens.
hell
So
of a
I highly
TV
recommend.
series.
yeah, I highly recommend the show. I think where season 5 is next month. I think it comes out in December.
Oh, thank God.
And then I'm assuming between my birthday and Christmas coming up, I'll have at least books 3 and 4, if not 3, 4, and 5. So I'll be digging into those soon. And since my mom's reading them at the same time, I have motivation to keep up. So I actually keep reading because she reads really fast. So I highly recommend the book and or the TV and or both.
So my final thought for the week is actually a news item. We didn't even get to the news, but that's okay. We had lots to cover with the PS5 this evening.
There's no news. There's no real news.
Actually, there is one piece of news that is very interesting. The Last of Us has been ordered to series by HBO.
Oh yeah, I just saw that
It
dropped
just dropped
today.
right before the podcast.
For the show.
Ooh.
Yep. So with HBO producing it, that should be some good stuff. I will, like, I don't know how you don't cast Troy Baker as Joel.
I think he said he doesn't want to be.
Oh man, I mean, you can't cast Ashley as Ellie, so I don't know. They're gonna have an uphill battle for me to build that same rapport that they had personally. But it's not like the second game doesn't destroy that anyway, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, hey-o. Let's go to...
They could just do something different in that world.
They could very well do some... Yeah, Fireflies.
I mean, we've seen what they've done with... We've seen what they did with, Watchmen, and that was fantastic.
That was fantastic. We'll end the show with a sage piece of wisdom to tide you over, especially Dave.
Not enough time. Roll credits.
Especially Dave. Till the next time we meet. Did
you see Lovecraft County? That was also really good on HBO.
This is specifically for
that one.
Matt.
That one with the weird thing wasn't as good though. I don't know where they're going with that series.
How did Darth Vader know what Luke got him for Christmas?
I don't know. How did?
Clairvoyance for the Force. They can read his mind.
No, he felt his presence.
Ugh.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
Until next time, game on.
Why do I do this?
Masochism.
Why do I come back? Why do I come back? Why do I do this? I could have been playing my PS5. But no, I had to hear that. Ruined my whole night with that. Ruined. Horrible. I raised my wolves